Good evening. This is a de facto review for this week. With me, Jargal Tampatarja. We'll talk about three topics of events happened last week related to Mongolia. First, about Prime Minister's speech on glass party. Second, mobile world new breed and the Mongolian market. Third topic is all vehicles will be installed with RFID. First topic about the Prime Minister statement. It was a conference. It was a scientific and practical conference, how they call it, under the title a glass party. Also it was 102 anniversary of political party establishment in Mongolia. And this conference was sponsored by several international organizations, including UNDP, Trans-International Mongolia, COICA, etc. Several international organizations supported this conference. The Prime Minister argued that we need to stop this system corruption, which should start from the several actions, 5-ish, the letter ish. In Mongolian, this ish means that in Mongolian language, but it is in general, there to be 4 steps to be made. One is whistleblowing. The law is to be completed soon. Second, shur, broom cleaning. The third, bird. The fifth is transfer back assets from abroad back to Mongolia. So these 5 actions measures will be made by the government first, and then, for example, this bird actions will be started next week. Those who is run away from the country, those who are involved in corruption, these people will be, their names will be announced, their passports, foreign passports will be expiring. And then if needed, he said that if needed, he said it will be discussed at the parliament of the country. And for today, for that day, it's March 2nd, how we make such a reform that we cut the soil of corruption. We change the very root of corruption, which has to do with the political parties financing. So he outlined 2 actions on 2 issues. First, about the election structure or election system of Mongolia to be changed. First of all, we need to make additional and new amendments to the constitution. Then we change the system of election voting. And it is to be, he said, he was specific on that. He said that it will be a combination of majoritarian and proportional systems of votes. And he mentioned during the discussions afterwards, he said that it will be 50%. And he had also argued that only through this system of the combination of 50% of the 2 votes, we will have a more chance to have opposition party and more chance for all political parties to be involved in the governance of the country. And also it is a matter of preparing people, training politicians to run the country, basically. So And he talked about the membership should not be, he said, fixed membership. Should not be only local representation, which makes a particular person being voted again and again. And all our election is a money election. We need to go out this virtual cycle. And we should have voices of many pluralism through many political parties involved, and our election system to reflect all layers of the society. That's why we need to change the structure of voting system through which we would change whole election system. But he said that it will be only possible if it is supported by leaders of other political parties in the civic society. Because the quite concerning in this new representation is also having politicians who had lost their trust of people in them, and how to avoid that, at least that people be listed inside of the political parties, part of political parties for support by the voters. So it's a matter of having discussed seriously what is the best way to really avoid people not trustworthy, but related to this political party coming to the power, which was the case before, by the way, once. So that's why we need to also change the situation of one party being always winning or to be too much dominant. If the other political parties leaders find that it is not the right time to change that voting election system, then he said that we are okay just to discuss this issue within the new consideration of political parties' status in Mongolia. We have a law on political parties, laws about political parties, and within that law, amendments, they can discuss the issue. Second part of his speech was about political party law and political parties financing. And he said that the current law is very symbolic and too general. And as a result, we don't see the ideology, principles, or concepts of political parties differences. Almost the same, he said, and mostly very empty populist promises, and mostly they are stopping development projects when the power is shifted, and the long-term policy and the long-term policy is not being used, and the governance in the country become very much unstable for the last 30 years, which is true because he's a 32nd Prime Minister of the country for the last 33 years. He made very serious statement. Well, actually, people know that, but he sounded it in such a way. He said that political election financing are made by only few mining and banking owners, through mines and banks owners, few bank owners, and they decide who will be elected, so that after election they get money, return of their money several times higher. And that's why it created a system of corruption. Corruption system had created. In that way, also the governance state, government and judicial organizations are in fact in their hand, not in the state. and whole Mongolian state is moving by the hands of only these few people. And they created a court system that is very strong to ordinary people and very weak those corrupt officials. In this way, Mongolia is run not by the rule of law, but by a few people. And he argumented that Erdene 49% shares purchase, where the state had refused giving that right to few individuals, and also Oyun-Erdene agreement, developing Bank of Mongolian case, and called theft. All these major criminal cases show that we need really to change our structure, the state structure. If we don't solve the issue now, the more economy becomes bigger, and this will be more skewed Mongolian sovereignty. Because they will buy democratic freedom of the people. So he had suggested several ways of, for example, making more transparent the election system. For example, maybe the political parties have the same opportunity for, even in one book, all candidates can be printed, published, new law, for example. And they use TV only for debates, not individual campaigning. This kind of several ideas he was presenting, not only during the conference, but during his speech, but after they had extended discussions, which I find very fruitful. And altogether, it was a good attempt to outline the reform he and his cabinet is going to do. But overall, I see it's one thing to announce what they will do. The other thing is actually have it done. Why I'm saying that is, yesterday, the Development Bank of Mongolia court case, was postponed and postponed once more. It will be not even this month. It will be in April. This postponement shows again that still those people, few mines and commercial banks owners, still manipulating the system, the governance, the people actually. So one thing is to announce the plan, the other thing is to be implemented. So that's my concern. Overall, I find this very fruitful and very, very straightforward statement that the Prime Minister made during this theoretical and practical conference. Well, that's first topic. Second topic about mobile world and Mongolian market. GSM Association, GSMA, it's a global system for mobile communication. It's an association based in London, has 12,000 members, mostly 750 operators, and near 400 companies in the broader mobile ecosystem. So these companies makes this GSMA association, and this association had its Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, where actually I am now, after attending that conference. And this conference is really about technology, community, and commerce, all converging. This organization is unifying the mobile system to discover, develop, and deliver innovation, foundational innovation to positive business environments and social change. In fact, it is organized every year in Barcelona. I understand city made special site pavilions, huge pavilions, eight pavilions. And they agreed to organize this event, economy of Barcelona. Some statistics say that it's $350 million US contribution and 7,400 part-time jobs to the economy of the city. And in fact, you can see all around the impact of this: restaurants, hotels, taxi. It's really 88,000 people from 202 countries and territories. You can imagine it's a huge 4 days, very much active events where you can, we could learn a lot. It is the largest and most influential event for the connectivity ecosystem. Global mobile operators, device manufacturers, technology provider, vendor, content owner, everybody who is just simply interested can come here, and they do, and some 88,000 people were all around. And also the thought leaders that change markets, new ideas, new business deals, networking. These are the few features of this event. A lot of Chinese companies, some 5,000 Chinese companies were there. And, the Huawei, Honor, Xiaomi, OnePlus. Also, we saw Nokia, Ericsson having huge hall pavilions representing their new products. From Mongolia, we had also a large delegation. And I was first time here, but our new operators, our tele operators of Mongolia have been there here for years from the beginning. And in fact, many new ideas came from this place. They said they have been sharing their thoughts with me. Mobicom, G-Mobile, Unitel, Skytel, and Ondo. These are Mongolian 5 operators, and some fintech company like Arda Financial Group and others were at the Congress during these 4 days. And most importantly, Mongolia had created Digital Development Ministry, and the minister L.Oyun-Erdene and his team was in here during all this 4 days. They have met several executives of large companies, including Starlink, OneWeb, Ericsson, Huawei. By the way, Huawei, the Minister of L.Oyun-Erdene had signed a memorandum of understanding with Huawei, which promised to prepare or train 1,000 IT engineers from Mongolia. So this is our second topic about this Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. I met some 10 or so, short and long, interviews, which will be on air soon. Now, I have sent already some news about this event to Tengir TV. So that's the second topic. The third topic I would like to highlight this week is about the vehicles will be installed with RFID, the radio frequency chips, which will be installed. They say 1 million will be installed. Vehicles will be installed, but they start from the March 1st, and they have during a month as many as possible cars to be chipped. Why? Mongolia has been studying that due to this traffic jam, terrible traffic jam in Ulaanbaatar city, where we spend hours sitting in the car. On one side, on the other side, we have about 1 million. It's 3.4 million people in 1 million cars. You can imagine in half of the Ulaanbaatar, half of the population lives just alone in Ulaanbaatar city. Somehow we need to really regulations to make all the registrations, movements, transfer of ownership, all these things to be, is already impossible to make it by hand. So on one hand, it's the most needed, I would say, actions. On the other side, because this technology is introduced, some 15 organizations related cars and the movement, traffic, and the 20 to 30 systems to be now integrated. And there will be one database. It's a huge work, and they will include the data on, for example, the technical inspection, which is happening every year for every car, registration, movement, a transfer of ownership, taxes, insurance. All this information will be integrated into one database. And in particular, those penalty for speeding, whatever, road rules, all this will be now, it will be easier to control it. But however, I think mostly there is more important for regulating traffic jam. For example, if many cars go into the business downtown, and then it will be more payment. So probably there will be quite resistance from people that why only the people who has more money go there, etc. But we need to take some measures. Otherwise, we don't move in the cars, sitting in traffic jam. Total 18 billion MNT are planned as budget for this whole new system, and 13 billion of them are approved by with the state budget. So they start this job, and now they are starting to installation of the job, chips into each car. So you need to bring your car cheaper, better, earlier than later. And the producer of this chip had given 10 years guarantee, and Mongolia had tested it for 200 around cars, vehicles since 2017. Now the more or less whole system works well. This is not the old system. This is not new one. And many countries use that new system. Though soon, if 5G comes, then it will be much easier to register all this what we want to achieve with this chip. But however, it will take time to have a full consumption of 5G in Mongolia due to their vast territory and the expensive antenna, etc. So this one is now in action. In Mongolia, in Ulaanbaatar, there will be 33. All around Mongolia, there will be 33 payment point, and traffic police 60 traffic police points in 60 places, and there are 5 toll road points around Ulaanbaatar city. All of them are already digital, and there is no people sitting now anymore. From the summer, it works well. So that's why the new system is coming, which is not new system for many countries, since even 50s, US, Singapore, China, many countries have used this system. So hopefully this will bring a bit better conditions for our life, for our mobility. And sooner or later we have to do this kind of registration anyway. So hope it will go faster, well, more efficient, and it will help us to have better life. So these are my third topic. And so altogether this week I have mentioned for you, highlighted 3 events of last week in Mongolia. First, about the Prime Minister's speech about the glass political party. Second, about this Mobile World Congress happened in Barcelona. And third, about this era of ID chip. to be installed in all 1,000 vehicles in the country. So thank you very much for being with me. Try to give you an information about the most important, to my view, events happened last week in Mongolia. Thank you very much. See you next time.